Ezekiel chapter 16, Christian Standard Bible, parable of God's adulterous wife. The word of the Lord came to me again, 2, Son of man, confront Jerusalem with her detestable practices. 3, you are to say, this is what the Lord God says to Jerusalem. Your origin and your birth were in the land of the Canaanites. Your father was an Amorite and your mother a Hittite. 4, as for your birth, your umbilical cord wasn't cut on the day you were born, and you weren't washed clean with water. You were not rubbed with salt or wrapped in clothes. 5, no one cared enough about you to do even one of the things out of the compassion for you, but you were thrown out into the open field because you were despised on the day you were born. 6, I passed by you and saw you threshing around in your blood, and I said to you as you lay in your blood, live. Yes, I said to you as you lay in your blood, live. 7, I made you thrive like plants of the field. You grew up and matured and became very beautiful. Your breasts were formed and your hair grew, but you were stark naked. 8, then I passed you by and saw you, and you were indeed at the age for love. So I spread the edge of my garment over you and covered your nakedness. I pledged myself to you, entered into a covenant with you. This is the declaration of the Lord God. And you became mine. 9, I washed you with water, rinsed off your blood, and anointed you with oil. 10, I clothed you in embroidered clothes and provided you with fine leather sandals. I also wrapped you in fine linen and covered you with silk. 11, I adorned you with jewelry, putting bracelets on your wrists and a necklace around your neck. 12, I put a ring in your nose, earrings on your ears, and a beautiful crown on your head. 13, so you were adorned with gold and silver, and your clothing was made of fine linen, silk, and embroidered cloth. You ate at you ate fine flour, honey, and oil. You became extremely beautiful and attained royalty. 14, your fame spread among the nations because of your beauty, for it was perfect through my splendor which I have bestowed on you. This is the declaration of the Lord God. 15, but you trusted in your beauty and acted like a prostitute because of your fame. You lavished your sexual favors on everyone who passed by. Your beauty became his. 16, you took some of your clothing and made colorful high places for yourself, and you engaged in prostitution on them. These places should not have been built, and this should never have happened. 17, you also took your beautiful jewelry made from the gold and silver I had given you, and you made male images so that you could engage in prostitution with them. 18, then you took your embroidered clothing to cover them and set my oil and incense before them. 19, the food that I gave you, the fine flour, oil, and honey that I fed you, you sat it before them as a pleasing aroma. That is what happened. This is the declaration of the Lord God. 20, you even took your sons and daughters you bore to me and sacrificed them to these images as food. Wasn't your prostitution enough? 21, you slaughtered my children and gave them up when you passed them through the fire to the images. 22, in all your detestable practices and acts of prostitution, you did not remember the days of your youth when you were stark naked and thrashing around in your blood. 23, then after all your evil, woe, woe to you, the declaration of the Lord God. 24, you built yourself a mound and made yourself an elevated place in every square. 25, you built your elevated place at the head of every street and turned your beauty into a detestable thing. You spread your legs to everyone who passed by and increased your prostitution. 26, you engaged in promiscuous acts with the Egyptian men, your well endowed neighbors, and increased your prostitution to anger me. 27, therefore I stretched out my hand against you and reduced your provisions. I gave you over to the desire of those who hate you, the Philistine women, who were embarrassed by your incident conduct. 28, then you engaged in prostitution with the Assyrian men because you were not satisfied. Even though you did this with them, you were still not satisfied. 29. So you extended your prostitution to Chaldea, the land of merchants, but you were not even satisfied with this. 30. How your heart was inflamed with lust, the declaration of the Lord God. When you did all these things, the acts of a brazen prostitute. 31. Building your mound at the head of every street and making your elevated place in every square. But you were unlike a prostitute because you scorned payment. 32. You adulterous wife who receives strangers instead of her husband. 33. Men give gifts to all prostitutes, but you gave gifts to all your lovers. You bribed them to come to you from all around for your sexual favors. 34. So you were the opposite of other women in your acts of prostitution. No one solicited you.